I will
Live.
Get a little retweet going. All right. It's the first episode of We Gotta Believe as we head down the stretch here. Big win last night. If you keep up with our, who is that?
Dog's been silent all day. Just goes crazy the second we jump on.
Season. I didn't
He
even
knows
know
we're live.
Yeah.
Tell me we have a Mets name on that dog. Tell me we have a Mets name on that dog, like
Murphy.
Elster.
Murphy.
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 Named the dog Murphy. Unbelievable. All right, so we decided we're going to be doing quickies twice a night, every night until the end of the season. Every night there's a game at least. So this is our first episode since we've decided to hit the home stretch hard. And thanks to Coors Light, we're going to survive this next stretch here. And it's a weird spot. I mean, last night felt like a big win. It was like if the Mets are going to be serious, I don't want to say it was a must win because, I don't know, that's a bit dramatic. But it did feel like it's getting late early, and if there's a time to make a push, it's going to start against the Baltimore Orioles right now. Shitty spot to be in where you're helping the Yankees as you're saving your own season, but whatever. You got to worry about winning first. And you know, we said it a little bit last night. If you listen to our post game, I mean, there's a lot of things working against the Mets, but they also show these flashes where if they put it all together, they're a pretty good fucking team, but the name of the game in baseball is putting it all together and playing every facet of the game, which is a lot easier said than done. So I don't know. It's, you know, where are you in Carolina? Where are we at? I mean, I feel like we have to, we're there. We called it. We made our call. Shit, I forgot to talk to my mom. I was going to try to have her on the podcast. We'll get her next week. My mom has been yelling at me for like a week straight now that I controlled and that I should have stuck by them. And it's like, listen, it's not really about abandoning them. I've said a million times it's about my own mental health. But as we make a push here, things could get awkward for the residents of Carolina.
I love how that happens too, because I think every group of like Mets fan friends or family members, there always is a point at some point of like the season or whatever where like everyone else is in Carolina or is like, I'm fucking done with this team. And there's always the one person who taunts you about your own team winning. It's such an unhealthy relationship this team has done. It turns families and friends upon themselves. And you're like, I told you, man, you got to believe. It's like, no, you don't. Stop doing it. And it goes back to the Mets Fans Anonymous. And I love that Mama Clance. Is Mama Clance always like, I'm going down with the ship? Is she always the last one to go down?
That's such fucking bullshit. Mama Clance is usually like, fuck this franchise, fuck the Wilpons, I can't do it anymore. And now all of a sudden she's acting like she's one of the unconsoled, the unsullied. It's like, wait a second, what the fuck is going on here? I told her it's like this. You know how you always support the troops, but you might not support the war? You know, it's like, I don't support this administration, but the guys on the front lines always have my support. Same thing. I'm rooting for Alonso. I want Jeff McNeil to win a batting title. I want DeGrom to win Cy Young. I want all these guys to perform well. I just can't condone what goes on at the top. And when we struggle or we see that we have glaring holes in our lineups or our rotations because of the way this administration, if you will, this regime ran things, I can't in good conscience support it anymore. And I'm not going to, again, the problem is I care too much. I love too much. And that I can't just be like, okay, I'm going to casually watch and I hope you guys win. I pour myself into it and then they stomp me down. It's like being in an abusive relationship. It's like being in an abusive relationship and you blame the person for breaking up. Like, why didn't you stick with them? Why didn't you work through it? Why didn't you go to counseling? I fucking tried for 30 years. There is no counseling. I have to just break up right now. But, you know, God forbid, people always say
we're 3 games removed from scoring 7 runs against the Phillies and then getting our dicks kicked in immediately after. And it's like 3 games. 3 games. And people are like, well, we walked off against the Orioles. It's like, what? We beat the Orioles?
It's maddening. It's crazy. You see this right here? I'm about to lose my fucking hair because of this team. Shout out to Fleischman Salon. They got the hair gummies that help me grow my hair. They help the hair gummies that keep the hair on my head staying in place and shiny and healthy. Fleischman Salon is the only reason I'm not going to, sorry, Clem, go bald here because of this team. If you got hair on your head, and you want to keep it healthy and you want it to smell good and look shiny and you want to style it the right way, go to fleischmannsalon.com/shop. And at the top there, you click shop. You can buy their entire hair care line of products. If you're in New York, you can go to Erica and she'll cut your hair up and she'll make sure. Like right now, it's like, I know I'm losing my hair up here because of the fucking Mets. So Erica will take care of me and be like, all right, you got to style it this way or that way. You got to put this product in. We got the hair cream. We got the hair paste. You use this biotin gummy to keep it strong and healthy. And I'll put the seal of approval on it. Even Fleischmann Salon products can keep your hair looking good, even if you're a Met fan. Our Coors Light help us stay right mentally. Our Fleischmann Salon products help us look good as we go through this stretch here, where you'll be your hair will either be falling out or you'll be pulling it out, because that's what the Mets do to us. So FleischmannSalon.com. That's FleischMann salon.com/shop. And if you use promo code KFC at checkout, you get 20% off. But the goldfish effect is maddening. It's what like helps us survive, that we can just forget and move on. But we win 1 or 2 games and all of a sudden we're going to the World Series. We lose a couple games and the sky is falling. That's just the way it goes. That's the life, right? The life we chose us.
We're in a tricky spot too, because the next 3 games, it's DeGrom, Lugo, and Peterson are those 3 starters. Like there are there are actual 3 starters. We have 2 just empty spots on the rotation. By the way, I have a conspiracy theory. You see Gazelman broke a rib?
Yeah.
I'm convinced. Who's the strongest guy on the team? Luis Rojas. I'm convinced Luis Rojas took him over his head and broke him like Batman, and he just shattered his rib. It's like he threw him to Brody's feet and goes, "Get this fucking guy out of my rotation, you cock fucking sucker, and give me a real fucking pitcher."
How did he break a rib? Did they say?
Luis Rojas broke it over his head. That's what we're going with.
I did picture Gazelman's in the clubhouse and they're doing that thing like they did with Batman, where they raised him up so his back would fix. You know what I mean? They've got a rope tied around him, pulling him up, trying to fix him.
Deepest rotation in baseball, my fucking dick. We've pulled out both our guys out of the bullpen.
Dude, that's just like 2 days ago, I saw that tweet that said like we're on pace to have the worst rotation ERA in our franchise history. So you're telling me this is going to be like our season and we're about to go on a run, and maybe we do, but just 2 days ago, I'm reading stats that like our team ERA is pushing like 6 or something crazy like that. And so, anything can happen, but don't tell me that like the stars are aligning right now, because 72 hours ago the stars were falling.
And that's exactly it. And it's the goldfish effect, like you said. Like, and this is the weird thing. Like, we mentioned it last night in the post game. Like the Edwin Diaz thing. It's like his numbers are great. They look awesome. If you just trust him, if you're just putting your heart, like Armando Benitez could have those numbers too. And I think our boy Meek Phil he tweeted out like at this point last year, Edwin Diaz had like a 2 ERA. And we didn't trust him then either. It's like you just knew. You're like, I remember last year I was like, oh shit, like this guy isn't very good, but I don't see it because of the numbers. But it's like there's eyes and there's numbers. There's a reason why like scouts still have jobs, right?
Did you see the SNY article?
What the
SNY article?
What did it say?
Abriano from SNY had the balls to go, whether you like it or not, Diaz is actually good with a 1.89 ERA. I'm like, he has 19 appearances this season. We saw him for 66 last year, and he got his dick kicked in.
Dude, I do not get it. Who's our guy on Twitter? I like him. PSL to Flushing.
Joe DeMaio.
He said the same thing. He's like, whether you like it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, Edwin Diaz is good. Like, what? And then he said something to me like, I have the ability to forget last year. I'm like, I'm not talking about last year. I'm talking about this year. If you include last year, we should blast him into the sun. This year, I guess I'll admit he hasn't been like catastrophic like 19, but he's had his moments where he's absolute garbage this year. And it's like we forget, even when he does save the game or hold the save or whatever, it's always by the skin of his teeth. Even like last night, like if Guillorme doesn't roll all over the fucking place and save that ball, it's 1st and 3rd, nobody out. And, these are things that over the course of time, like you said, only 19 appearances, you do this over 20, 30, 40, those lucky moments don't happen. And I mean, you can tell me all you want about BABIP and XFIP and all this bullshit. If you tell me that coming down the stretch here, you want to put the ball in his hands with a 1-run lead, and that you're like, you might say, listen, he's our best option, which is scary. But if you're telling me that you're just like, oh, I'm cool with this, I'm comfortable, you're either an idiot or a liar, because it's crazy. He's given up like far more home runs than anyone in his position. He's always walking the ballpark. It's crazy to me to just say he's good because of a certain number of stats. I hate to sound like one of those guys like, well, I do the eye test and I do my gut and I don't follow the numbers, because that's idiotic. But there really is something to, like, if you watch this guy day in and day out, you know the deal.
It also kind of this kind of loops into when we're talking about, like, with your bomb, where it's like, I'm not rooting against Edwin Diaz. I want him never to give up another base runner for the rest of his career. I want him to be awesome. But it's like, there's one thing to say he has good numbers, even like sometimes where it's like with Noah, we said like the numbers behind the stats are even better, where I think Diaz is pitching a little above those, like, you know, the FIP and XFIP and all that other kind of stuff. He's striking out everyone, which is awesome. But it's like, I'm not rooting against him. But like, one thing is saying he is having like good numbers statistically, which is fine. Which again, they had to move him out of like the highest leverage situations, and they're slowly putting him back in. But like, trusting him is a completely other thing. I cannot trust him. I can put him on my fantasy team and be like, all right, my numbers are good. Like, he's not hurting my numbers. But to trust him with my heart is a complete other thing. Now, this is something that I have to mention, and this does make me want Edwin Diaz to succeed more than anything else. We talked about it last week, I think. Our boy Tim Healy on Twitter pointed it out. Edwin Diaz has maybe the greatest entrance song in baseball that no one knows about. It is so fucking fire. I'm gonna play it on my song. I'm gonna play it on my phone. I don't know if it'll come through, Kyle. If it doesn't, just put it in post production.
Like, horn Don Quixote, like
it's called. It's called Narco by Blaster Jacks with 2 X's, so you know he's a badass motherfucker. And Timmy Trumpet. Don't know either of these guys. This shit comes on at DJs at fucking midnight and probably just blows the fucking roof off. And like Tim said, if Diaz comes in the game, I'm getting goosebumps singing this. I'm honestly getting goosebumps. If Diaz comes in the game to this song, to a packed City Field, and we have Uncle Stevie as our owner, and he is a lights out motherfucker, it is going to be awesome. And again, I don't know if Uncle Stevie has to buy the Mariners, buy the city of Seattle, or whatever the fuck Edwin Diaz was doing 2 years ago and bring it here to New York. But if you put that guy on the mound to this song, it will be incredible. All right, I'm going to play this song. We'll give it.
DJ Clem and them, drop that beat.
All right. Here we go. I think I had the vibrate on.
It's such a fire song. And this comes on the heels of Familia with Danza Caduro, which was also a song that is a banger.
Oh, we got the classic, man. The video is fire, too.
Born coming. Oh!
Bullpen D opens.
Oh, my God.
Here comes the bad man. El Malo, the bad hombre.
I mean, sort of Enter Sandman with Rivera. That's the best I've ever heard.
You get like the entire outfield. Just like,
this is the best part. Yeah, we got a fist. Everyone's fist pumping in Cohen's corner right now.
Oh, it'd be wild.
Oh, I love it. Now, the problem is, what's sad, Clem, is right now they hear that, bah, 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 and they're ready to just tee off. They're thinking, whatever, Edwin Diaz is in the game, no big deal. If he gets intimidating, oh, man.
You know what it is when they play it now? It's the guys with the casket doing the dance.
I mean, it has all the potential in the world. That's Edwin Diaz. It has all the potential, man. If he gets lights out, it could be, the best moment at Citi Field since the last time music really got me going was probably Beltran, LS Aquí, maybe Jose, but maybe I Got 5 on it with David Wright when he used to play that. But man, that would be a moment. But there's such a long way to go. That's what I mean. It's like, again,
he's pitching in like non-leveraged situations in the 7th inning, like from behind. Like we said, he's the closer. Like he's not the closer.
If we do groom him along and he gets back to the spot. Like, all credit to Rojas and the pitching coaches and the organization on that one, because that is he was in like DFA territory, and if we can work him back, he'll probably never be what he was in 18. But you know what I mean. If we can get him back to being a legitimate closer, that is a miracle work right there.
Can I just say this? The last time music got me going with the Mets was Sandstorm at Citi Field. That was the absolute zenith, and they had the little noise meter and everything. That was the last time I can remember. And then Ella Stocky with Beltran, obviously.
And I mean, Danza Kuduro was that's just an amazing song. And when Familia was good, it was just fun. But it got to the point where when he was bad, when he was running out, it was like, oh my God, turn the song off. You don't deserve the song. This is embarrassing that you're using this joint and you're going to get knocked around the park.
We also got to do Yo Lion King too. I mean, that was a different
one. That's it's not like a banger of a song, but yeah, that certainly had its moment. Man, imagine if Yo was alive for this.
RP Yo assessment. Gone too soon.
But yeah, listen, the Diaz thing is, again, to go back to it's like an abusive relationship where he threw you a birthday party and you're like, all right, thanks, that was awesome tonight, but we've got a long way to go. And then everyone else at the party's like, well, what are you talking about? Tonight was great. It's awesome. It's like, no, she beat me for the past 6 months. So not that, this one night where things were good doesn't make up for everything. And I think that's really where I'm always at with the Mets, is that I have too many memories and too many fears and concerns because I'm battered. And people do say to me, like, well, what if they make a run and it's a year you've consoled? First of all, not unprecedented. I consoled in 16 and they snuck into the wild card game. And two, it's something I used to worry about, and I would be worried, well, what if I do console and then this happens? But I've realized I've learned this is the way. It will. The Mets will win a World Series in a year that I console, because that's just that's the plight of a Mets fan. We're so up, we're so down, and you hit your breaking point and you say, fuck it, I can't handle it anymore. And then you get pulled back in. And that's, it almost makes me think this is the way it has to be. So, I mean, people will always throw stones and they'll always be like, oh, you're a bad fan or fair weather or whatever. I know the deal. Anyone who's in Kunsalina knows why and how we're there. And if we get, I always say, if we're wrong, fucking thank God. I long for the day they prove me wrong. And when they do, it'll just be, that'll be very fitting. Now, will it be this year is the question. And again, right now it feels awesome and we might make a run. And then again, you look at the team ERA and I can't, the stats drive me crazy one way or another. You're telling me we have, I said it all last night during the postgame. Best batting average, team batting average in baseball. Number 3 in OPS. Number 1 in on-base percentage. We're probably going to have the Cy Young. We got Jeff McNeil. We got Pete Alonso. We got Mike Conforto batting .340. We have a lot of pieces in place. How are we 4 games under 500 and not at the top of the fucking league right now? It's actually impressive that we're not a winning team with all the winning pieces we have. What the fuck's going on?
I honestly feel like Brody is that bad of a gentleman. I feel like every movie's made other than JD Double Davis, everything is just him. If they had just, it's one of those things where they say the manager doesn't matter, just give him the ball and put him out on the field. It's like the only thing that we could have done was screw it up, and he screwed it up completely. That's why Ricky Two Freds is pitching, Michael Walker's given up the fucking ballpark, all that kind of shit, where all the other guys like Pete Alonso would have been here no matter what. Jeff McNeil should be playing second base, and then we could actually have a regular outfield, and we would have gone a center fielder, just throw a fucking straight up zero war guy, just a straight replacement player in center that plays defense, and we would be fine. And it just doesn't work like that because it's the fucking Mets for whatever reason.
You can't even blame it on the NL East being strong, because they were supposed to be like the best division in the league this year, and they suck. Every team sucks with the exception of the Braves, which it doesn't matter because two teams get in. It's
weird. Yeah. It's like they suck, but I said this last night, everyone's kind of in the same boat. So throw out the fact we're all in the same area, like in the same level. So whether that level is here or here, we're all together. So it does make it competitive in a weird way. So like you said, we should have expected this from the NL East. Everybody should have been like 10 games above 500. We're all 5 games below, but you should have been ready for this. It was going to be a dogfight. we just thought that the dogfight would be at a higher level, and it's a mediocre level. But you should have been prepared to be able to battle, 4 or 5 teams in your own division, and now there's a couple more. Like, with the 8 teams, you got to fucking worry about the whole goddamn league. So now you're scoreboard watching with the fucking Reds and the Rockies and the Giants, and we said pretty much everybody minus the Padres in the playoff picture. The Mets will have some history or some bad blood or something along those lines if they somehow sneak in. Now, all 3 of us were pretty pessimistic. Shocker. But where do they have to get in the next, let's call it week, 10 days? How many? So there's 17 games. If we play until September 27th. So that's all right, so 17. Oh my God, there's too many 17s floating around for me.
Oh no.
17 is the number that just like 7 games, 17 to play makes me think of 2007 and it makes me want to kill myself. So right now there's 16 games, 17 days. So let's say by September
20th. Yeah.
20th. Like, where do we have to be for you to start to get like, oh shit, we might do this?
That's 9 games. How many do you think they have to win?
Wait,
there's so many.
games?
There's 9
By the
games.
20th, they're going to be playing 9 games.
Gotcha.
So I mean, there's so many teams to jump. I feel like you got to go like 7-2 because somebody, right? Like you got to win like 7 of those games at least. It feels like, and it's tough.
And we're playing the Blue Jays, the Phillies, who are going to be competing directly with us, and the Braves. That's a tough stretch. And then you come with the Rays after that. So you got to hold it even if you do jump them.
Oh, and you know what? Fuck it. It's good, though. Like, you have to earn your playoff spot. And we've always said that. And we said it last year when they went on that hot run against all those shitty teams, and then they actually started beating the good teams. But it's like, I like when you actually have to punch your ticket.
I've said in the past, I'd rather play the good teams because we seem to get a house of cards against, when the Marlins were shitty or you play some of these dog shit teams. We always kind of play down and up to our competition. So, the Mets are always backwards. So I'd almost rather play the good teams. But everyone's out for blood. Everyone's like, this is our year. Or everyone's thinking I can sneak in the playoffs. Like right now, if the Marlins make the playoffs, they're like that's like their World Series. Like you'd be like, fuck you. Like we did it when nobody even gave us a shot. And we did COVID and we got over it. So everybody has this motivation to make it and the chance to make it that, you really have to bring your A game. And, we don't every 2 or 3 games. We don't. We bring our fucking F game. So it's going to, like, for a team that's been wildly inconsistent, they're going to have to all of a sudden get consistent for the next 17 days. And that's
Walker's got a 7.5 ERA, and Porcello's got a 6.07.
Yeah, like
those two alone.
Last night's not happening again. Last night you're not going to slug your way out of your how many innings did he go last night? Like 3 or 4? Yeah,
four innings.
Fucking hit parade, and we just slugged our way out of it, and you just can't bank on that, for any extended period of time. So like, awesome to watch it. It was fun last night, but I don't think you can reasonably expect that. And if you do, you're probably one of those Mets fans who just is like hope springs eternal and it always stays the same for you. It's just not in my DNA to be like, oh, okay, everything needs to break our way. That'll happen.
Yep, and they're gonna hope their horses bring them home. Like I saw DeGrom, they're like DeGrom is penciled in once every 5 days, and we're gonna figure out where we go from there. Which hey, like that should have been the strategy from day one, especially once. And as much as shit as I want to give Brody for the rotation, I will say like you can't see Noah's gonna need Tommy John. You can't see that your number 3 Stroman's gonna opt out. I will say that, but still, like these were his 4 or 5 guys. Are still his 4 or 5 guys, and we've now moved Lugo and Peterson above them in the rotation because he just completely bungled this entire thing. But if Jake,
I'll say this: I don't know about you guys. I don't even knock him for Wheeler. I did not think Wheeler was worth $120 million. I watched him be very pedestrian, very inconsistent, and very mediocre despite throwing hard his whole tenure here. I had no problem letting him walk. I think that's a little bit hindsight's 2020. Now, if you want to tell me that we're a big league team, we should be able to throw that, a big market team, we should be able to throw that money down. And if he's good, we win. If he's bad, we are able to absorb that for sure. That's another argument. But I'm not. When Wheeler walked, I never once was like, this is going to come back to bite us. When he went to Philly, I was like, fuck, that might not be good. But I never once thought, like, this is a horrible mistake that we shouldn't have made.
No, I wanted them to trade him those 2 years prior to that. I'm like, let's get something for him. He's like a second-half pitcher.
That's a different argument because you should have said to yourself, listen, he's young, he throws hard, he's shown enough talent that he's going to get $100 million. We know we're not going to pay that. It's like with Reyes. Like, they should have traded him and got something because you know you're not going to sign him. That's a different argument. But to say, like, how could you let Wheeler go? It's like pretty easily, if you ask me.
Yeah, and the thing with him too is, I mean, you knew he was going to probably get $100 million if he stayed healthy, but he's staying healthy in, like, what has it been, like 8 starts, 10 starts?
Yeah,
like it's just like we said with Aaron Judge and Stan, like, as they can stay healthy, which they haven't even. That's like, the Corona season, they'll stay healthy for 60 games. They already haven't done that, so we could already put them. But like Wheeler, I got to see him throw 32 times in a year for a couple years to be worth anywhere near that cash. And you also have to remember that I feel like the Stroman trade also happens because I think they were trying to, like, replace Wheeler for another year and doing the Wilpon half measures, and they're just throwing more shit in the air trying to make it float. And I will say, like, the Uncle Stevie news came right after the Wheeler deal, and we all just kind of just were like, don't give a fuck about Zach Wheeler anymore. So, like, I think it was like the next day or the next hour. It was something crazy like that. But I'm not going to give Brody shit. Now, I will say, this is how I'll decide if they should have signed Wheeler. I'm going to say, Chaim Bloom, would you have signed Zach Wheeler? Right. And whatever his answer is the correct answer in my opinion.
Yeah. Kyle, I feel like you might know this. Clem, maybe you do too. I certainly don't. But who is, like, is there a name in baseball that's like the new whiz kid who, like, you should want to be your GM? Like, is there somebody like a coveted, almost like a free agent player, but he's I heard the name Chaim Bloom coming up, you know? Because whoever that is, I'd have to imagine Steve Cohen is just, like, on the phone with right now being like, I want you.
Usually they keep those guys hidden in, like, behind the scenes. Yeah. They're like the number 2 or number 3 guy in the front office, and then they get stolen away. Like, that's what happened with Chaim with the Rays.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays have been very good with it the past couple of years. They had the one GM who won GM of the year and then retired. He just straight up quit.
That was wild. You got to go get, like, just find me, go to San Diego, go to the White Sox, go to the Blue Jays, all these teams that are doing it right, even the Rays, and poach one of those guys. Hopefully their top guy, because you're just going to throw cash at them. That's where I think Steve Cohen, people, all Yankee fans who want to, like, rain on the Cohen parade, being like, there's a luxury tax, there's basically a salary cap, you can't just spend to win. Yeah, that's fine. Luxury cap for players on the field. I'm going to go get executives of the year and pay them fucking $10 million each. That's where you can have anybody and do whatever the fuck you want. And that's what he should be doing, because that's like, you know, I believe that baseball should be run more like football, where it's like your coach and your GM are like your rock, you know? And that's how you have sustained success. So go do that, Steve Cohen, which he is finalizing. I don't get – my juice doesn't get flowing for these reports. When you see these things like he's finalizing, I'm pretty like, unless there's a catastrophe, I'm pretty positive this is all going through. So I don't need every report like of every single move. And I'm not going to get excited for him because I'm already excited. I'm at peak excitement. I know what's happening.
Yeah, I mean the like, we're Mets fans. Again, we've said this before. Like, we expect until he has signed even after he signed the contract. Even the baseball owners have to vote him in. Then I'm going to spend all winter being like, God, I hope nothing bad happens to Steve Cohen that's going to, like, knock him out. God forbid he gets hurt or something or killed or something like that. It just, our brains have been so broken by this team. Right. I'm not going to, like, get too high on all this stuff. Now, I will say, like, the J-Lo being ride or die, saying she was going to put her name on the papers and be the face of it and all that stuff. I appreciate her doing that. All this shit with A-Rod just made me, like, hate him all over again. It was the old A-Rod that was just looking like a fool with his purple lips and is getting caught with his hand in the cookie jar every single time. Yeah. But like I don't know. It's like, it's better than hearing like there could be a snag. I just think of where we were when we broke that news about him, you know, the team falling through. We were so low. You thought something had happened to my kids basically, or I was going to have another kid, which would somehow be even worse, that I have to have another fucking one of these mouths to feed. So it's just like, I'm just taking any little shred of good as I can. And as I'm saying that, I've been looking up, like this is like the kind of shit Mets fans are going to be doing. We're not even looking up free agents. We're looking up prospects of general manager free agents. Baseball America literally it's behind a paywall. I can't see it, but I love it. It says top 15 prospects for general managers. You got to be one sick puppy. And we're sick right now to be looking that kind of shit up.
I mean, that's the list I care about more than anything right now. I don't care about pitchers, batters, whatever. Give me executives, because that's how you have prolonged success. And that's how
why I think they give Rojas a little bit more leash. Like, I don't think he's coming in and putting a new manager in the dugout right away, because all the players love him. For like the first year, you could say he's had a couple hiccups with the way he's managed, like the rotation or the bullpen or whatever you want to say, or like the lineup. I fucking hate the lineup that we change it every day. But like, if you have a GM who's actually putting the product on the field, and then you have a guy who's just like a clubhouse, Terry Collins was not a good manager. No, they loved him in the clubhouse, though. He let them do whatever they want.
So it's like they're such a figurehead right now that I don't feel the need to shake that up. You know, like if you're the Yankees, you absolutely have to fire a guy like Aaron Boone, because that's like your figurehead has gone totally wrong. But as long as it's not that like reached an untenable spot like it has with Boone, you might as well just keep your guy, because stability. There's some value in stability. You don't want it to be like a revolving door, but like the Yankees have got to make a move. Oh, I saw somebody wrote an article. I didn't read it, but somebody wrote an article saying that the 2020 Yankees are trying to avoid being the 2007 Mets. I mean, now the 2007 Mets, when you're good for 150 games and then blow it, that's different than if you have a lead in a shortened season and then blow it. But I'll take it. Any comparison to the 2007 Mets is the last thing you want to be in all of sports. So I don't even know if that really holds water, but I'll certainly run around telling Hubs and Tommy, psst, psst, 7 up, 17 to play, 2007 clap. Just you now. That's what you are now. That would be as embarrassing as it gets for them. So, there's a chance for the Mets to sneak in and the Yankees to fall out, which would be heavenly. But even if it's just the Yankee, even if the Mets can't put something together, if the Yankees fall out, I'll have something to hang my hat on this season. I'm happy about that. I beat those fucking weasels in Jenga today, Tommy and Hubs, those little Asperger's idiots, and it was satisfying. I told them it's just like the Yankee season's going to go. It's going to come tumbling down. Hubs had the Jenga tower literally fall onto his head. He was like he freeze framed, it was beautiful. I loved every second of it. So
I will say this, like that's a Yankee fan too. Unfortunately, these days, like they're not like fucking Dave, right? Or any of the Boston guys. Those guys have a swagger to them because they just know championships. The Gabagool Yankee fans, the 27 rings guys, the guys who were in that fucking picture with the guy smoking the cigar, that guy would not lose a game of Jenga to you. He just wouldn't. He would just have the confidence because that's all he knew. All he knew was Jeter, Rivera, Bernie. All those fucking guys gave him that confidence, and that's what we're asking Cohen to give us right now.
I can't wait to turn into that guy. I want to be that. There's one guy. Let me tell you who I want to be. There's the picture, the famous picture with the smoking on a cigar, the guy like, fuck you. But then there's a home run gif that's hit to the short porch. I think it's Yankees Red Sox. I don't know what it was, but the ball hits the stands, and then you can see everybody in the crowd. And there's a couple guys who are like front and center, who are Goombas, who everybody kind of laughs at. And there's one guy. He's like 2 rows back, and he's just inexplicably is just going, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You can see him mouthing it. He's just saying it to anybody and everyone in sight. I want to be that guy. I want to be like Steve. Let me be that guy who's in the stand just going, fuck you, we're the Mets, we're the best. It would be such a trip. It's like I've been talking about MTV Made. Remember MTV Made, Clem?
Yes.
Where you could pick, I want to be this for a day. Like, let me be a happy New York baseball fan. And make me into that, and it's my make-a-wish. And I will not disappoint. I promise you that. Just let me be that guy. It's coming.
You're going to make Keegan that. Okay, that's what Steve Cohen. He's going to make Keegan the obnoxious. He's going to have that in his blood from day one. You still have the pain. You still have all those days. You're just going to have like true anger, true spite in you. But Keegan's going to have that like utter confidence, and he's just going to be turning around telling everyone to go fuck themselves. And was it at Yankee Stadium, or was it in?
Yeah, was it in sense why he would even be like, fuck you, because he's just programmed to double middles for everybody. It's incredible.
Oh, Keegan's going to be such a hardo.
The very thing I make fun of. One day, I hope that someone is blogging Citi Field like I blog Yankee Stadium, and I hope they put a picture of Keegan up, and they're like, "Look at this fucking cocksucker." That's what I hope someone's saying. Yeah, Keegan will be the McGillicuddy. We want our kids to be the New York McGillicuddies for the New York Mets. That's what I want. By the way, that curse is very real. The Bruins.
Right.
Tom Brady leaves. McGillicuddy growing up and becoming a weasel is that's going to take down a Boston Empire.
Oh my God! God bless you, Uncle Stevie. And I said this. The report said that. So first of all, our boy, the guy operating in the shadows, Saul Katz, is the one who made fucking Fred sell the team, kicked Jeff out of the room, and now it sounds like he was the one who said we need to take this deal from the fucking one guy who could pay us in cash instead of this other guy with debtors and 1,000 different fucking co-signers. Saul Katz, I don't care. Tom Seaver statue, going to be made of platinum, going to be bigger than Citi Field when it's all said and done when Uncle Stevie pays for it. We need to build Saul Katz a statue. It could be in the shadows of fucking under the subway, whatever, because I know it's how you say he operates. Saul Katz might be the second most important person in Keegan's life.
I started to get fed up with Saul Katz because all I ever heard was how Saul Katz hates Jeff and how he's aligned with the fans, but he never fucking did anything, and he waited, and he never acted, and he always got overruled until it counted. He held on. It was like in Braveheart, he's like, hold, and then you pull up the spear. That was Saul Katz at the fucking 1 yard line to make Uncle Stevie get the job done. So yes, you're right. Ultimately, he does deserve. He'll be the unsung hero. Like that'll be a trivia question one day. Like, how did the New York Mets get the owner who went on like a 7-year fucking 7 World Series dynasty? Saul Katz.
William Shea is like, no, everyone just hears Shea say they don't realize how important he was to the team and all that stuff. Saul Katz is that. I have no clue what Saul Katz looks like in my mental, in my fan fiction brain right now. He's Littlefinger. He's just operating in the shadows. He has the little wispy mustache, and he fucking
does not look like that.
You are wrong, my friend.
I'm way off.
First of all, his teeth.
He has like the children's hospital. Like, that's his whole thing. He's like saving actual lives, and then he's just like, that's his parting gift to us. He's like, let me just save the Mets fans.
Kyle, I'm gonna send you this picture. Can you share it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got an ad blocker. Fuck. Hang on. Let me just.
I'm gonna kiss this motherfucker right in his big teeth. I love you, Saul, baby.
Him and Jeff are in this picture together. Not Jeff, Fred, and they just look like old men laughing with their yellow teeth, and it's just like, thank God you ended up being a good guy, because you look like Jeff Fred looked like a fucking supervillain in this. I'll send it to the chat.
Oh,
but but no, it does not look like Littlefinger. There's no appeal there. Let me tell you what. Not winning
Saul Katz is probably having the time of his life in his morning shuffleboard games, and he just has fucking billions or hundreds of millions coming to his bank account. He's just laughing like that fucking punk Jeff, and he's just sliding it, and he's getting 10 points nonstop. I don't even know what the shuffleboard points. We're gonna say 10 points. 10 points nonstop for the fuking guy. Oh, I love you, fucking Saul Katz.
You think that he maybe like had a little under the table handshake deal? Look at that guy. Oh.
Look at that.
I mean, look at fucking Fred. Look at those teeth, and look at his. They look like little baked beans. They're like little fucking.
That guy looks like he's made out of wood, like the old Native American statue outside the cigar shop.
That's exactly what he looks like. I love it.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Dolphin teeth, like in the haters of the year. He got dolphin teeth.
You think that that Cohen like recognizes what happened? You think that maybe Saul Katz is going to get a duffel bag of money on like Passover or Hanukkah, whatever the tribe celebrates? Like, here you go, man. Thank you.
He fucking better. He better have an invitation to the. He definitely has an invitation to the gala. He definitely has an invite to that.
We're gonna be at the fucking gala, and it's gonna be DJ Katz up there, like, yo, what up, hey? Like, well, shout out to all my Mets fans. We're gonna fucking win now. Fuck Jeff Wilpon. When I say fuck, you say Jeff. Fuck. Party, man, and Saul Katz will be front and center. I love it.
I just got to shout out this guy too. Hakuna Matata said in the chat, they're going to put a statue for Tom Seaver on the where the Shea Mound was. I thought he said he was going to put it on the mound, like Monument Park. Remember how that used to be like in center field? Just put Seaver's statue on the fucking, like right behind the mound. Just chaos ensues. Just a giant statue you have to have looking down as the fucking knee is grazing the dirt. Oh, I fucking love it. I love this team. The Mets are the greatest. I love being a Mets fan.
Look at it. And that's how it comes full fucking circle, folks. You see how it works? We start off in Consolina. We finish with I love the Mets. I love being a Mets fan. This is the greatest. It's insanity. The Goldfish Effect, 39 minutes and 38 seconds, Clem. That's how long it took for you to just flip a switch and become so happy to be a part of this. It's mental illness. It's a disease. It's an absolute disease. And I don't know how to I don't know any other way to put it. And right now for the next like 17 days, it's like we don't have our medication. We have a mental disease and we don't have whatever keeps us in check. It's gonna be a goddamn roller coaster. We'll be there every night. No game tonight, no game on Monday, I believe. But other than that, for the next couple weeks, we'll be there 2 quickies a night. We gotta believe before the game and we gotta believe after the game. Not really just like pregame previews and postgame recaps, just like mini podcasts about the Mets, what's gone on, but more just what's happening in baseball. So just a shit ton of baseball content coming your way, Mets content coming your way, courtesy of Coors Light. So keep up with us as we go down. I mean, it's basically like we have Mets Fans Anonymous meetings every night from here on out. So we'll all be each other's sponsors, good or bad. Make sure we don't get too high. Make sure we don't get too low. And we'll see where it ends up. And until then, whether you're in Consolina, whether you are a member of the Unconsoled, you gotta believe.
Gotta believe. Gotta believe. I fucking love this game. Of course I believe. I fucking love it. Gotta believe, baby.